Chapter 2. Monday is a parish priest's traditional day off. Since arriving at St. Clare's, I have not had the time to learn about the parish, so I decide to spend it in my office. There are files on the desk put there by Glenda. I assume that I need to go through. After my first cup of coffee and morning prayer, I sit down at the desk and begin to familiarize myself with the temporary assignment. I know I will have a couple of hours of silence because Glenda is out. After 30 minutes, my eyes begin to glaze over. I've never had much of a head for numbers, and trying to make sense of St. Clare's financial statements is taxing my limited powers to the utmost. I can't tell if the parish is running a deficit, has a surplus, or is breaking even. From what I know of other parishes around the archdiocese, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I plow ahead with another folder labeled baptisms and confirmations. While St. Clare's does not have a lot of money, it is rich with people. Since January, 10 babies have been baptized into the church. Also, 4 adults entered the church the previous Easter, and 5 more are preparing to join the next. The folder on religious education also shows healthy numbers. Whatever is going on at St. Clare's, it is good. The doorbell rings. I don't get up at first because I think Glenda will get it. By the third ring, more insistent this time, I remember she is still out. I open the door to find the man I saw Glenda talking with the previous day. He seems surprised to see me. Good morning, I say. He doesn't speak at first. He looks like he's in a daze. I can't tell if he's high or just confused. I try again. Can I help you? Oh yeah, sorry, Father, he finally says. Is Glenda here? No, she's out right now. She should be back soon. Would you like to come in? I open the door wider to make it more inviting. No, no, no. That's okay, Father. Uh I'll just call her later. Is there something I can help you with? You? He seems shocked by the question. It's kind of what I'm supposed to do, help people. Comes with the caller. I smile, hoping the joke would put him at ease. It doesn't work. No, no. I'll just get Glenda later. Sorry to bother you. He turns and walks off, looking back over his shoulder at me. What's your name so I can tell her you stopped by? I call after him. He doesn't answer me, so I just stand there looking after him before going back to my desk and picking up where I left off. I have only been back at work for about an hour, about half hour or so, when the doorbell rings again. Some day off, I mutter as I go to answer the door. This time there's a woman at the door, one I recognize. Hello, Chloe, I smile. Chloe Archman smiles, and a smile of a person who has the choice of either laughter or tears chooses laughter, only because it isn't as socially awkward. Hi, Tom. Father Tom, she said. Tom's fine, Chloe. Please come in. We hug, and I show her into the living room. She sits on the edge of the couch, hands folded in her lap. I sit opposite her in an ugly 70s brown armchair. A spring pokes me in the back. Sorry I missed you at Mass, I say. John told me one of the kids is sick. Are they better? Oh, yes, she's doing much better. A 24-hour thing. The kids are at home. We homeschool, but someone comes in to watch them a couple of mornings a week. I teach one class per semester at the college. So you're back teaching? English Lit, isn't it? Yes, she pauses. So how have you been? Fine, fine. Good, good. There are a few moments of silence while we just look at each other. Can I get you something to drink? Water? Coffee? No, I'm fine, she sighs. Sorry, this is harder than I thought it would be. What is? Coming here. Seeing you, my best friend's husband, for the first time in 15 years. You know, I thought about what I'd say when I finally saw you. Oh, I had some choice words in mind for you. Leaving without saying goodbye, not coming back even one time, not a card, not an email, not so much as a text. The only thing we ever heard was from Anna. We couldn't believe it when she told us you'd been ordained to the priesthood. So at least we knew you weren't dead. I am so angry with so many things to say, but I just can't say any now because she gestures with both arms, are now a priest. Worse, you're my priest. So it is a grave sin to be angry at a priest. Is it a grave sin? No, no graver than being angry at anyone else, I answer. Oh, okay, well, I'm angry at you, Tom. Really, really angry. You left Anna. You left John. You left me. You were the only connection I still had to my best friend. I was devastated when she was murdered. I was devastated when you left. But you know what? Not nearly as devastated as John. John? I could see tears beginning to form in her eyes. Oh, Tom, she cries and buries her face in her hands. I grab a nearby box of tissues and hand it to her. She takes out a couple and wipes her eyes. Anna told me he's had some problems. Not just some problems, Tom, but you don't know. But then, how could you? You weren't here. Well, I'm here now. Tell me what's going on. She exhales. After he came back from the hospital, he seemed to be doing well. I guess as well as could be expected. He was still in pain, but the physical therapy was helping and he was working hard at it. He got stronger. He was seeing a therapist to help him process what happened. He was becoming the John I knew again. Well, you remember how he was. I remember. After a while, he seemed like the old John. He was doing well, Chloe says. Then he began to change. He became withdrawn, spending more and more time by himself. He didn't want to see anyone or do anything. He spent all his free time either locked in his office or taking long walks by himself. She pauses and wipes her eyes as the tears return. Oh, by the way, you and Joan were not much help, she continues, rage now strengthening her. It seems like every time we wanted to do something, Joan was too busy with her new business. What she says is true. Joan, Joan was busy back then, trying to get new design business off the ground, but I also remember a few times when I tried to get John out for a boys' night only to have him turn me down. There were always plenty of times they canceled plans with us in the few months before Joan's murder. We spent every little time with the Archmans. I am wrestling with these thoughts while Chloe continues now in the voice of spent rather than active rage. Long after Joan's death, this leg began bothering him. He re-injured it somehow. He thinks when he tripped on the back of the stairs while taking the trash out. That's why he uses the cane, I say. Claire, Claire nods. But before that, she goes on, his mood changed. His depression got worse and he began having nightmares. He started drinking. When he re-injured his leg, he couldn't get around without the cane. He's been in pain ever since. He won't do physical therapy anymore, says it's voodoo, doesn't work. I don't know when he decided that. Just takes painkillers and drinks. A tear snakes its way down her cheek. But I can handle the physical pain. That doesn't worry as much as the other. What other? The moods, the depression, she said. He'll be happy one minute, then screaming with fury the next. That sound that doesn't sound like John. I knew. Has he ever heard you or the kids? Oh, no, no. He's never laid a hand on us. He he has the presence of mind to go scream in the garage when he's really angry. I don't think he knows I'd leave if he ever did anything like that. He needs to get some help, Chloe, I say, before he hurts someone. I'm more concerned about him hurting himself. When he's really down, he begins to talk about how he's responsible, that it's all his fault people died. He says he's a coward, how he should have done something to help instead of hiding, about how he betrayed them, about how the wrong people always die. But that makes no sense, I say. He received commendation. There's no way any of that in Iraq was his fault. I know, but he's been carrying a big load of guilt for a long time. Guilt, I cringe at the very word. It seems like most of my life has been shaped has been shaped by things that could have or should have done, that I could have or should have done. But Chloe doesn't know that, can never know that. And anyway, this isn't about me, it's about her. Is he seeing anyone? I asked, trying to apply what we're taught in seminary about dealing with parishioners suffering from depression. No, not anymore. He did for a while, saw both a therapist and a psychiatrist right after he came home. It was helping. It was helping, she shrugged. Then he stopped. Why'd he do that? Well, he told me he doesn't need to go anymore. But I don't know the real reason. She sits back and sighs. I'm about at the end of my rope, and I'm hoping you can talk to him. I'll try, I say, but I don't know what I can do. You are his friend. He used to listen to you. I've run out of ideas. Besides, you're a priest. That's true, but still, he'll have to want to talk to me. He'll have to want help. Do you think he does? She thinks for a moment, then, I don't know. I really don't know. I sigh. Okay, Chloe, I'll try talking to him. In the meantime, I'll keep you and your family in my prayers. She smiled, a real smile this time. Sorry. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. After she leaves, I settle back into my study with another folder, this time on the Knights of Columbus, when I hear the front door open. What sounds like two people come in. There's no reason to bother the father about this, Glenda says. I just want to ask him if he would mind if we had one this year, the young woman replies. Father Anthony has said no each year for the past 5 years, Glenda continues. It would be just too disruptive. Well, Father Anthony's not here, and it will not be disruptive. We're just talking about a small, simple production. You will not talk to Father about this because by this time I'm standing in the doorway. The young woman with Glenda is one I recognize from the 10:30 a.m. Mass, sitting with her husband and 3 children, a girl and twin boys. Glenda, she interrupted. They look at me. Oh, Father, Glenda says. I was just telling Miriam that. Thank you, Glenda. But why don't you let Miriam talk? Miriam, you have something you want to ask me? Well, yes, Father Tom, Miriam says. I want to ask, well, some of the other moms in the parish think, the other moms in the parish think, you see, Christmas is in a few months. Yes, that seems to happen every year, I say, smiling. I add, What would you like? Miriam takes a deep breath. We're wondering if you would allow us to organize some of the church children to do a nativity pageant. Sorry, I'm sleepy. You mean with the children playing various parts? Mary, Joseph, shepherds, kings, a few toddlers dressed as sheep? Glenda interjects, I told her it would be impossible. Father, really? And why is that, Glenda? I ask. She seems stunned that I would question her statement. Well, it just would be Advent and Christmas season is already so busy, and the children would disrupt everything. Now, Glenda, if, if St. Clair's could survive, sorry, falling asleep, being used as a hospital during the Civil War. I think it can survive a small nativity play. I turn to Miriam. Sounds like a fine idea, Miriam. What's your last name? Conway, Miriam Conway. Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Now we thought maybe Saturday, a week before Christmas. Actually, I have an idea. Isn't there a Christmas Eve vigil mass, Glenda? Yes, at 5 p.m. Good. Why don't you do it at the vigil mass? Marion smiles. Really? At the vigil mass? Glenda is not smiling. Yes, I would think that mass would have a lot of children attending with parents wanting them to get to bed early. It would be fun for them. We'd do it instead of the homily. What do you think, Miriam? Do you think everyone would go for that? Absolutely. Thank you, Father. This means a whole lot to us, more than you can know. Miriam shakes my hand, looks at Glenda, and leaves after she is gone. Glenda turns to me. Father Anthony, it's it's not here, Glenda. Let me ask you, just between you and me, did he ever actually tell the ladies he didn't want a nativity play? Glenda hesitates. Well, not exactly. I thought so. I pause. Glenda, I understand that you spent a lot of time acting as Father Anthony's gatekeeper. I'm sure he appreciated it, but you don't need to do that with me. You are not, you cannot spend your time talking to every parishioner who wants your situation. I know, but I can speak to most of them, I say. From now on, I'm available for anyone who wants to talk to me during office hours. Father Anthony didn't keep his office hours. People had to make an appointment. Well, they can just they can still make an appointment, but if they stop by and I'm here and I'm not in the middle of something, I'll be available to them. Understood? Um, understand? Glenda stiffens. Yes, Father, if you'll excuse me. I have to put groceries away and start dinner. You're having chicken tonight. She grabs her bags and storms out. Oh, Glenda, I call. She stops at the doorway and turns slightly. Stopped by to see you. Someone stopped by to see you. What? Who? I don't know his name. I saw you talking to him yesterday after church. Anna thought it was your nephew. The blood rushes from her face. He stopped by the rectory where you will you were there while you were there? I furrow my brow. Yes, it was while you were out. Is everything okay, Glenda? What? Yes, she said, squaring her shoulders. Oh, yes, Father, everything is fine. I'll call him after I finish lunch. I'm sorry he bothered you. It was no bother, Glenda. Does your nephew live with you? Sorry, I'm falling asleep. I'm trying not to. I'm almost done here. Yes, yes, Roger. He's my sister's son, she says quickly. He's staying with me while he works a construction job at the college. I'll call him in a bit. She has just cleared the doorway when the phone rings. I look at the clock. It's just 11 a.m. I have to be in church by 11:30 to get ready for the noon mass. Lot more lively place than I thought it would be, I mumble to myself. I pick up the phone. Hello, St. Clair's Rectory. May I speak with Father Tom Greer, please? Speaking. Oh, Father Greer, good. My name is Nate Rodriguez. I am a freelance documentary filmmaker. What can I do for you? I'm hoping I can interview you for my next film project. Me? Why would you want to interview me? Well, you see, my project concerns the unsolved murder of Joan Greer. Ooh, interesting. We'll come back with chapter 3.